knowing where the other person is at all times, and so I thought a lot about that, and I think he's a guy with a lot of trouble in his past, a lot of personal demons, a lot of maybe some trouble with booze along the way, some family issues, divorce, all those things. He's not a simple kind of guy. He's a very complicated guy. And like I say, a great-looking man. And that goes without saying.
A great-looking man.
He knows how to work a tie.
And
scarf.
Yes.
Damn
No
right.
one understands him but his woman. And that, you can quote me on that.
Don't all go at
I brought the
once.
house down. I brought the house down.
And
Simone.
we did it. Between Scarf and I, and Luke. It's all great actors that you're surrounded by, and they're all willing to play, and they're happy to be there, and nobody's just taking this lightly. So we would have a lot of fun just exploring what wasn't on the page and just asking questions. And we had a lot of great directors who were interested in pulling out different things that weren't necessarily written. But Mike is a great person. Like, he's a great head of the show. He does not have an ego. He's not, coming in there and saying it has to be like this and, let my standing do that. Like, it was all fun. So it was definitely,
so chill, like for a superhero.
Yeah.
Very, very chill. Like, he's got this big, deep
booming
voice.
Right.
But he's sweet as
He's
sky.
a little guy. Yeah. I really beat everybody
If
up.
I was playing Luke Cage, nobody would be talking to me.
Right.
Everything would be in front of me, and nobody would be near me.
No. So that is kind of the way he did it playing Scar.
Yes.
It's like, do not look me in the eye.
Yes.
Get out of my trailer.
No one's allowed to stand in front of me. It's a strange rule.
Out of my sideline.
Yes.
Cameras.
Yes. New shoelaces every hour. That's, don't ask.
And green M&M's.
Yes.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
You all were awesome. Take care.
And the thing about the shoelaces is off the record, please. I do not want
Don't
that.
tell anyone.
Thank you.
It's right there to the left. Right?
Mahershala Ali and Alfre Woodard.
No, I didn't. Not from any particular one, but I have been involved in the world of politics actively since I was 14. So I was around local politicians then a lot. I was around, state politicians and then national politicians, international politicians. So I know how they move and breathe. Mariah is a powerful woman, and she's a woman that grew up in a family where you didn't tell girls to be nice and sit down. Mom Mabel was a powerful woman, so her fire hasn't been put out. It's been trained in a certain way because she's been sent to good schools. So she understands, okay, power is a mind game. I do run into a bulletproof brother eventually, but power. So then obviously I got to figure out I need that power on my side. But it is a mind game, and so she is. She has breeding, but she is a Stokes. She married into the Dillards. She is a Stokes, and so we're a family of strivers. Cornell is powerful, but he's using the old method of how black men became successful before avenues were opened up to you. So every American fortune is built on quasi-legal activities, some of it outright illegal. The 8 families, 10 families that have been at the top since the beginning, none of the stuff they did was legal. And so imagine a black family decades back, for them to, when just our presence was illegal, for them to be able to build, an empire or something to sit on or something to pass along, well, it had to be built on some quasi-legality. He's still operating in that same realm. I have been sent off to school. We're cousins. We're very close. But like with all cousins, there's certain ones that get sent to the other room when you really want to talk about the stuff the children and the women shouldn't know about. Sometimes one of the girls might get to say, but Mariah was sent to the other room, and Cornell stayed. And not only that, so he has inherited that. It's his job to maintain the legacy. But we're at a point where the struggle is, there's a new way of doing this. Let's get political power, is what she's saying. And he's going like, no, this is what we know. This is what I know. So for me, he is the man of the family, and I love him. He's doing that. But as you see, it's the old and the new butting up against each other.
And it almost gets into an inability to see where you're coming from because of the exposure that Mariah has to the world of legitimate business and politics, and Cottonmouth always kind of living within this silo and going about doing business in a way that isn't always legitimate, of almost not totally getting where she's coming from sometimes. And well, this is what I know, so this is how I'm gonna go about doing it, and how that creates a tension. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much. I might screw it up. I learn about myself in every part. Hopefully, whether it's someone who the audience views as a villain, because when you look at a villain, in part, a world is created by every writer, creator, director, or whatever. And so when the audience says, "Oh, that person is the villain," it's because they have someone who is the moral voice to bounce off the actions of the person who's deemed as the villain. So, but I myself am not looking at the character as a villain. My first job is to advocate for that character, to understand where he's coming from and why he makes the choices he makes. But hopefully, I learned from every character, and because I feel like you get what you're supposed to get in your time, and that those characters are meant for you to add something to your life as much as you're there to lift that person off the page and make them a real human being.
Alfie, can you talk a little bit about being kind of one of the first female kind of villains / anti-heroes in Roundtables? How does that feel?
Oh, I am on the up and up. I'm a New York City Councilwoman. Yes, there is quite a strain of corruption that runs through politics.
And a very big safe in a very big room.
But as you know, she is not villainous. But how does it feel being? I'll tell you how it feels being in a Marvel story with Misty Knight. And although she thinks she's something, but that does excite me with Misty and them coming off Jessica Jones to Misty. I think the girls are going to be very excited, and the boys are going to be excited for a different reason. And some of the girls will be excited for all them reasons too. But it's just, you feel something is happening. We're opening a new door, and I think everybody's going to be terrifically excited about it. Between the music, between the stories, between the characters, and the fact that Cheo is such a brilliant writer, and he loves and knows Harlem from its inception so much. It's like the richest thing I've ever stepped into, frankly. And so, and it's bulletproof. So there's all that, fighting and stuff happening. It's just,
Spell that. How you spell that?
So it is, but that's Alfred reacting to that. Mariah, Mariah wants, one of the things that Alfred wants that coincides with that is, I want Harlem to remain Harlem. I want people to come to Harlem and want to be in Harlem and be a Harlemite. I don't want people coming to Harlem. Now, I just bought in 10 years ago. Well, I didn't even buy in. It was my husband. I said, Uptown. I said, you know. But it is what you were saying. It's like a neighborhood. You're in New York City, and it's not just a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood with ancestry.
Yes.
Cultural ancestry, actual, ancestry. It is a place that you come. Like everybody, whenever people go to Africa, like, I feel they come from Denmark. I feel like I'm home. Everybody feels at home in Africa for a reason. And you feel at home in Harlem. And through the years, even when its fortunes were changing, and I'd be scared to be up in Harlem unless I was with somebody, depending on what time of day and where I was. It still was like, well, it's Harlem, I got to go. And so,
Pilgrimage.
yeah, and that's where you knew you're going to hear the music. It was going to be pure. You're going to have the food. I mean, I can eat it every night, but you're going to have the food. You're going to have, it was going to be, you could say hallelujah. You could do everything up there. And if you got in trouble, there was one of the best lawyers up there to help set it straight. So all that to say, I love that it's not just set in Harlem. It's set in the state of mind that Harlem has been. And so that when people now come to Harlem, they come for that.
Involves in the Cottonmouth as well. Gotcha. A lot of that has to do with Cheo, honestly, and in that he just laid the groundwork for me to be able to show up and play off of other wonderful actors I got to work with, and I think at a certain point you can kind of hear it. You can kind of hear when it's not feeling right, and I feel frustrated when I feel that, and I need that feeling to go away. And so because it's hard for me to go to sleep at night when I feel like I didn't at least, whether it makes the cut or not, I gotta walk away feeling like we got it, like and then we got it within certain parameters, at least, that we got down to that truth. And sometimes it's a physical thing, sometimes it is the writing, and like, oh, can we make a little adjustment here, and then boom, they change that word and it opens up. But Cheo did a wonderful job of really arcing out the narrative and his really working out his arc and setting the trajectory, and I could see that. I got to rap with him about it from time to time, and he clued me in on the stuff that was coming, so it kind of set me up for what was going on in the moment, how to help set those things up. But Cheo, like, honestly, because he was there, or emailing or calling or what have you, and then working off of these other wonderful actors.
Into character. I don't get into character. Yeah, I was just like, you're telling somebody's story. And I've learned so much. I know who she is because I built her bit by bit. I start working with dialect. I start at the grocery store as soon as I know what my character is, and I start to toss their dialect into my conversation every day. Everybody around me is used to the dialect changing, so that by the time I get to set, it's natural to me, and when I get emotional, it doesn't go away. And so I'm already there. I work on her sensibility. I know who she is. The character is always entirely different from Alfred. None of us have the same fingerprints. Well, our job as an actor is to stand the character up. And what makes Mariah different when you describe her from any other middle-aged, successful African-American woman, went to, Penn, went to this. Well, you're still talking several thousand people, if not. So what makes her specific? So when it's time, when I put on that thing, I'm not her. When they say action, that's when I let Mariah speak.
Wow, that was wonderful. I think there's certain things that I just kind of tune in a little bit to when I get to work. I make a playlist for all my characters. So if I'm in my trailer and I'm playing music that is specific